Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Welcome aboard the month of March 2024. Today is the first day of March in the year 2024. Congratulations for going through the last few months. Now we can actually say few months. We went through January where we had summits east, left and right in Uganda. But right now we are in the month of March, and of course as Christians we are still also going through Lent that will be ending at the end of this month, where we will be celebrating Easter and remembering the death and resurrection of our Lord Jesus Christ. But also our Muslim brothers and sisters are also fasting. So it is a time when we are all seeking God in different facets. Well, today is a Friday special on Good Morning Uganda. This is what we do, and we normally switch things up to bring you entertainment, to bring you various news in the world of entertainment. We will give you movie updates. We will have a performance coming on later on. So we switch things up because our mandate is to entertain you, to inspire you, and to educate you. So what do we do on Friday? We do everything that I've just mentioned, but entertainment is the best, is actually the main course for our Friday. So stay on board because we have so much coming your way. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and I'm joined by Chirabo Robert Nyonyintono. I wish one of these days they would allow you to see his dancing strokes. My goodness, you will be shocked because he can bring it down or throw it down, so to speak. And of course, the other gentleman is Jerome Paul Sonko, the young man of the team. Chirabo is trying to find him a wife. Actually, no, that is Ruben. We are trying to find Sonko a wife, so send in your applications. I am the person that receives them and sends them to Ruben Chibirango. But also we have Chantal Olive Akandinda. I don't know if she's looking for a groom, but I will not go there. Good morning, Olive.
Good morning, Olive. How are you today?
I am great. How are you?
I am so fine. I'm in the Friday mood. I just want to maybe dance a little bit. Just the music was stopped halfway. But yeah, we're here. Good morning, all of you. Thank you for joining us. It is the 1st of March. I wish you a wonderful month ahead. And it has started on a good note. It is a Friday, my friend. March must be good. It starts over the weekend. So welcome to the new month and welcome to the show. We are looking forward to spending the morning with you. Good morning.
I was waiting for you to make a comment about something I mentioned, but
I can still make a comment on whether I'm looking for a groom. No, I am not.
Oh, really?
I am okay wherever I am, where I will not mention.
All right. You're being ambitious, but we will take that. Good morning, Jerome Paul.
Yes, good morning, Monica, and good morning to our dear Ugandans, wherever you are. It is the month of March, the month of celebrating women. If you look at February, now March, again, more celebrations coming up. Chantal has mentioned that the month of March is pretty much a month of good energy, good vibes, starting on a Friday. I think all Ugandans out there, besides you know, everything happening behind the background of Uganda's political space, I want to believe this month may be another good one. 2024 has so far been a year of standing on business. When you remember the first day of the year was on a Monday. Now imagine the first day of the month of March, the third month, starting on a Friday. So it clearly shows you, for those in the entertainment world, you're standing on business in this particular month. Then for people who are so much into the nightlife kind of economy, you can as well be excited about this. But as for me, I am already geared up for the Friday, geared up for a new month. Geared up the fact that we are now left with 10 months to welcome 2025. Besides that, also, mentioned Uncle Bob here. Uncle Bob is always giving us some good dance strokes every morning. And that is something that can excite anyone if they see the behind-the-scenes movements here before we get on air. Otherwise, it's a good morning from me to you.
All right. Yes, it's a beautiful morning. And what a better way to start it except with us here on Good Morning Uganda. Now, I said Uncle Bob dances the best. That's no joke. But he will tell us more about his love for dancing and his love for biking. I mean, it's a weekend, so he might give you a plot. Good morning, Uncle Bob.
Well, lovely morning to you and, of course, the entire team. Now, Chantal, we need to talk after because there's this confusing us. But you see, my dance strokes are unique. Reason being that I blend between two generations. So the days when you had Running Man, Funky, Calypso, you know, then I bring in your latest dances, then I go back to pick from my senior Ruben, those when we used to enjoy music for purpose.
But can Ruben dance, or he dances to the next song?
Well, he's very good while seated. He can dance
well,
in a chair.
Seated.
Yeah, in a chair he'll have so many strokes.
I'm not so sure.
The trouble is when he stands, we
you
don't know.
want to be in the meeting after today's show.
But
and unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself.
But talking about February is gone. The month of love, it's gone. We had the launch of the Patriotic League.
Yes.
And that was something that spiced up a bit of February. And now, as we think we are coming to it in a peaceful manner, the opposition in parliament gives us a surprise.
Yes.
Finally, NUP has come out clearly to show that Mpuga, we had issues with you, Honorable Matthias Mpuga, because I think away from yesterday being told because of corruption and abuse of office, vacate as a commissioner.
Yes, yes.
He's not had a good time with NUP. There's always been something poking all surrounding Mpuga. I hope that next will not be Honorable Abedi Wani.
No, I think he has been in the spotlight for quite some time.
Sometimes they're accusing him of sleeping in the same bed with NRM, then doing this. Like
But you
I'm
know, if we
saying-
were to have that conversation,
Yeah, like I'm
this
also
meeting-
smelling a rat for Honorable Abedi Wanika. I hope he can sail through to the end. Now,
But
so-
isn't it disappointing, Chirabo, that the vocal members of parliament from the opposition normally turn out to be the ones selling their soul, so to speak? Because there is something Jerome Paul posted yesterday, an old tweet, when Matthias Mpuga was complaining about corruption in the country. Now it turns out that he allegedly received 500 million shillings, okay? And he even admitted that he actually took the money. So isn't it disappointing to the voters that believe in these people, that they say one thing and they do something totally different?
well, for me, I'll not castigate Honorable Matthias Mpuga. I'll use a biblical scripture that says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of God's glory." I believe some are just smart and they're just
that they
covering
don't get
up.
caught.
That they're not getting caught, or there is a, if you remember a member of parliament in the side of Massacre that returned money. People who have done underground investigation, much as this is called Twaha Kagabu, he was kind of timid, where did you get the money and all that. There is so much unworthy hands to condemn Mpuga in parliament and in the opposition.
Thank you very much. Actually,
Okay,
the most
Sh-
unworthy hands are in the opposition.
No,
in my
Chantal,
opinion.
sorry to cut you short. I'm being told that the money Mpuga received was not actually corruption like it's being claimed. It is money that he was given as the outgoing leader of opposition.
Yes. So that's why I'm telling you that Honorable Mpuga's journey for some time under NUP, they have poked him because
And
they
tried to
felt
make him
he has
look
not.
bad.
So this has just been a moment they have been waiting for. And that's why I said that why I see things moving, even on Abedi Wanika. You know, sometimes in national unity platform, you find that people who have other ways of doing things may not be well appreciated.
And
you know?
that's where
So it was just a time that now we've gotten something that we can take on you. Otherwise, his journey since he became, I think, leader of opposition.
Yes.
You know, that is a tricky position because, you know, people expect you to be so radical, extreme,
But you see,
and when
He
you're
was being
But
diplomatic.
you see,
diplomatic,
Chirabo,
yes.
the money in question here is 500 million Ugandan shillings.
That's true.
500 million. And I don't know how heavy
Taxpayers' money, according to the
500
NUP.
million. And when you look at 500 million coming out from the SEM, you do realize that most of the people from the National Unity Platform were really quite unsatisfied, or they did not feel it is right for their leader of opposition, or let's say for someone who belongs to their party, to move to the next, or let's say for them to preach against misusing funds of that nature when we have issues at hand. For example, we do not have hospitals, we do not have, okay, we have hospitals, but we do lack facilities
Right.
in the hospitals. And then at the end of the day, you see someone who is supposed to be advocating for less misuse of the funds receiving 500 million. You people, 500 million is good money.
Well,
But then
Jerome Paul, under Parliament's rules of procedure, it was agreed that former speakers of Parliament be given cars, okay? And a part of that money is what went to the former leader of opposition in Parliament. Now, I hear you on saying we don't have enough facilities, maybe medical facilities, or we don't have enough resources in hospitals, and even in schools. The education sector is grappling to a degree. But at the same time, every job comes with benefits.
It does.
If at UBC here, there are things you're entitled to as a journalist. And I would think that even as a member of parliament and a leader of opposition, there are things he was entitled
Let
to.
me just ask
he
let me just ask a
entitled to
simple
it,
thing, a simple
But
question.
it's something that we've just found out simply because there is an exhibition going on. That means the entitlement is a little bit something we didn't really know.
No, I think
Or it's money
No,
that we...
no. When you hold an office, you are entitled to some of those things.
True.
Now, according to the National Unity Platform, it is alleged that him and other commissioners went into what we call service awards, that they were giving themselves large sums, that's how it was stated, giving themselves large sums of money, including the 500 million Uganda shillings. That is where I think Chirabo comes in to say there must be something in the middle there that the
Something that
NUP
we are
is
not
trying to,
seeing.
yes, that we're not seeing,
Yes.
the NUP is trying to put forward. I mean, you're saying you're giving yourself good service awards as commissioners, yet you should be maybe using this money to do something else, and it does not stand on the values and the principles of the National Unity Platform.
And just
that is the allegation.
And just final on
But
that, if people are saying that we should use money properly, how much money does government of Uganda give National Unity Platform?
But this money
Under
we need
this
to...
much as it is accountable for. Why
But
don't
we
they
need
say
to
that for us as a
clarify.
party, those 2-something billion, we won't take them.
But-
We can't build hospitals, we can't
And
do
they
without
they
this. And all
cannot
this
not take the
entitlement.
money. They cannot not take the money because
What is
the
good for the
government...
Uganda is good for the goose.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not
we
just-
need to clarify that this money was actually given to Mpuga by Parliament. Now, we will see this story developing and we'll be bringing you more details regarding the same. We will also stand to see if Mathias Mpuga will stand down as a Commissioner of Parliament. That and more you will find here on Good Morning Uganda. But this minute, we take you through our local news.
And we'll begin with the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, who welcomed Professor Jeffrey Sachi advice to government of Uganda to secure long-term loans at low interest rates and invest in priority areas including education, health, energy, agriculture, urban transport and digital revolution for rapid economic growth. The professor, a renowned economist and global leader in sustainable development, believes that Uganda's breakthrough to the high-income country in 40 years lies in bold and forward-looking, high-level public investment and planning.
Now moving on, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commended the UPDF's commitment to serving with dedication amidst challenges within the force, spanning from working under hostile conditions to keeping peace in unstable countries. The president, during the UPDF Thanksgiving ceremony at Kololo Independence Grounds, assured of UPDF's strong foundation despite elements of corruption being addressed. Patience Rawogo was the keynote speaker, expressing pride in the force's professionalism and education.
And moving on, Parliament has issued an ultimatum of 2 months for government to introduce the Copyright and Neighbouring Rights Regulation Amendment Bill. The House was informed that government since 2022 took over the previous bill from Mawokota County Member of Parliament Hilary Kiyaga. This is a Parliament adopted report of Parliament Committee on ICT and National Guidance with amendment to cause government to expedite the copyright law and save Ugandans from being exploited. The report also reveals that over 60 billion idle in Bank of Uganda after being transferred from mobile money accounts that ceased to exist.
And lastly, in our local news, Inspector General of Police Martin Ochola's contract will expire on March 4th, 2024. However, most intriguing, it's alleged that Ochola has not notified the line Minister of Internal Affairs in writing as required by the Public Service Standing Orders. Ochola is now serving the evening of his second tenure ever since he assumed office from the former Inspector General of Police, General Kale Edward Kaihura, on March 4th, 2018, as to whether his contract will be reinstated for the third run by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces remains a mystery. Well, now we delve into international news with Chantal Olive.
Crossing over internationally, at least 112 Palestinians are said to have been killed and 760 injured trying to get desperately needed aid in Gaza. Crowds descended on a convoy of lorries on the coastal road southwest of Gaza City in the presence of Israeli tanks. Israel's military says tanks fired warning shots but did not strike the convoy. Some Palestinians say troops fired directly at them. The Palestinian witness told the BBC most of those who died had been run over as lorry drivers tried to move forward. Israeli aerial footage shows hundreds of people on and around lorries, while graphic videos posted online show bodies loaded on the emptied aid lorries and donkey carts. Giving a figure of 112 dead and 760 injured, Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry accused Israel of a massacre. The UN Security Council has scheduled a closed-door emergency meeting to discuss the incident. France said fire by Israel soldiers against civilians trying to access food was unjustifiable, and the US President Joe Biden expressed concern the incident would complicate efforts by mediators to broker a temporary ceasefire in the war between Israel and Hamas. The medical charity MSF said it was horrified and called for an immediate and sustained ceasefire. Now, still speaking matters international, President Joe Biden and Donald Trump have made competing visits to the U.S. border in Texas, each seeking to stress they can tackle illegal immigration. The issue is one of the most polarizing in U.S. politics and will be central to this year's presidential election. November's contest looks likely to be another showdown between the two men. Mr. Biden accused his Republican rival, who spoke of the very dangerous situation at the border, of hindering his efforts to crack down on crossings. Republicans in the House of Representatives have blocked bipartisan border reforms in what Democrats say is an effort masterminded by Mr. Trump to deny them a win before the election. In Texas, Mr. Trump said he would take care of the issue of illegal immigration if he was re-elected. He has previously promised mass deportations if he wins power again. The issue is an intense focus between more than 6.3 million migrants have been detained crossing into the U.S. illegally during Mr. Biden's tenure, a higher number than under previous presidencies. However, experts say the reasons for the spike are complex, with some factors predating his government and sitting outside American control. And lastly, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has declared a national disaster to tackle the prolonged drought affecting the country. Addressing the nation on Thursday afternoon, Mr. Hichilema said 84 districts out of a total of 116 were affected. Zambia has been experiencing poor rain, with fears mounting that the country may experience hunger and struggle to meet its electricity demands, as most of its energy is from water sources. Water levels at Kariba Dam, which Zambia and neighboring Zimbabwe use for hydroelectricity, had fallen to about 11.5 of usable storage as of last December. The president said drought would affect the generation of more than 450 megawatts of power, and half of the land used for planting crops had been affected by the dry spell. Mr. Hichilema said his government would work to ensure that additional maize and other food was brought into the country to make up for the deficit. We will work together to get farmers to plant more crops. We shall also enhance the social support programs for the farmers that have been affected by the drought, he said. We call upon all our local and international partners to avail any excess food on hand to provide relief. Some partners have already extended their commitment to offer their support, such as the British, the UN system, the World Bank, and others. That does it for international news.
Well, thank you, Chantal Olive. Now, our brothers and sisters in neighboring Tanzania lost their former leader, Mr. President Ali Hassan Mwinyi. He died at the age of 98. This and more in the press review with Jerome Paul Sonko.
And well, with the press review, we start off with what is happening from the New Vision. As the New Vision headlines, "Let us stream this fat government," says Ramadhan Gobi. The cost of public administration, according to the permanent secretary to the Treasury, has soared from 465 billion Ugandan shillings to 7.4 trillion Ugandan shillings. Read about it in the New Vision today. Now, also, use politics to fight poverty, says Museveni during his presidential address. Now, in the tourism series, the green gold of Uganda. Read about that in today's New Vision. Then, First Lady welcomes Professor Sachs' advice on long-term loans. As in court, Molly Katanga applies for bail, raises 15 grounds. As 60 district veterinary officers robbed over cattle thefts. That is within the New Vision today. Now, investment, Korean startup businesses to enhance exports. Then there's also a pictorial as President Museveni joins Tarehe Sita Thanksgiving prayers yesterday. Now, further, the Daily Monitor, still with today's press review. President Museveni turns guns on corrupt military officers. Read about it. Now, NUP says Mpuga to resign from House Commission job. Read about it. Now, in the Scoop magazine, Spider MC, patience paid. Now, you can also read about more on Kony War victims that want ICC money. As disgruntled Kampala City Council Authority workers protest over delayed salary payments. A pictorial of some of the casual workers that was striking in front of the City Hall. Then also in the other news, I thought weavers were a police problem. Read about the Lizardi's opinion. Then you can also read about the women in leadership as the 8th of March gears up next week. How can you position yourself as a woman in business? Now also, we cross the borders to Kenya with the Daily Nation. Give children less homework, parents plead. Current load is excessive, says a new study. Read about it in the Daily Nation. Now, MCAs vote to impeach Deputy Governor. The fate of Kisses Robert Monda now lies with the Senate. Still, that is in Kenya. Now, it's D-Day as leaders await environmental pact at UNEA. Also in the Daily Nation. Now, Raila exit, Moi Kalonzo meet. Pictorial of some of the influential leaders of the opposition in Kenya is at the front page of the Daily Nation today. Now, in matters sport, read about Doctors Union boss hurt in city protests. And then athletics, all eyes on Omanyala as Glasgow Gold Rush kicks off. That is with the Daily Nation. Now, lastly, from the Citizen newspaper, you can read about death of an icon. Retired President Ali Hassan Mwinyi, who was at the helm during the time of profound change in Tanzania in the 1980s and 90s, has died aged 98. More stories in today's Citizen. From 1925 to 2024 is a man who has lived his time. Now, what the World Bank's reform drive means to businesses in Tanzania, still the Citizen is highlighting. Then, no end to row on health insurance package as team defends NHIF. The Citizen is giving details of that in today's edition. Also, Putin now warns West of nuclear war risk. That is something you can find still in the Citizen from the perspective of the international news. And then lastly, from the Rising Woman series of the Citizen, for Zuhura, having a strong vision and purpose is key. That is from our press review this Friday, 1st March 2024.
And we can't go any past that. If you need more details on any of the stories that Jerome Paul Sonko has shared, go to your nearby Stall supermarket and get yourself a paper and get these details, because you will surely find them there. Now, we will take a short break and I will leave you with Just Glean and Rudimento with These Days.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
I know you moved on to someone new. Whole life life is beautiful. You were the light for me to find my truth. I just wanna say thank you. Leaving to find my soul. Told her I had to go. And I know it ain't pretty when our hearts get broke. Too young to feel this old. Watching us both turn cold. Oh, I know it ain't pretty when two hearts get broke. Yeah, I know it ain't pretty when two hearts get broke.
I hope someday we'll sit down together and laugh with each other about these days, these days. All our troubles we'll lay to rest and we wish we could come back to these days, these days.
You see someone who is supposed to be advocating for less misuse of the funds receiving $500 million. You people, $500 million is good money.
Well,
But then
John Paul, under Parliament's rules of procedure, it was agreed that former speakers of Parliament be given cars, okay? And a part of that money is what went to the former leader of opposition in Parliament. Now, I hear you on saying we don't have enough facilities, maybe medical facilities, or we don't have enough resources in hospitals, and even in schools. The education sector is grappling to a degree. But at the same time, every job comes with benefits.
It does.
If at UBC here, there are things you're entitled to as a journalist. And I would think that even as a member of Parliament and a leader of opposition, there are things he was entitled
Let
to.
me just ask,
he
let me
was
just ask a
entitled to
simple
it.
thing, a simple
But
question.
it's something that we've just found out simply because there is an exhibition going on. That means the entitlement is a little bit something we didn't really know.
No, I think
Or it's money.
No. When you hold an office, you are entitled to some of those things.
True.
Now, according to the National Unity Platform, it is alleged that him and other commissioners went into what we call service awards, that they were giving themselves large sums, that's how it was stated, giving themselves large sums of money, including the 500 million Uganda shillings. That is where I think Chirabo comes in to say there must be something in the middle there that the
Something that
NUP
we are
is
not
trying to,
seeing.
yes, that we're not seeing,
Yes.
that the NUP is trying to put forward. I mean, you're saying you're giving yourself good service awards as commissioners, yet you should be maybe using this money to do something else, and it does not stand on the values and the principles of the National Unity Platform.
And just
that is the allegation.
And just final on
But
that, if people are saying that we should use money properly, how much money does government of Uganda give National Unity Platform?
But this money,
Under
we need
this
to...
much as it is accountable for. Why
But
don't
we
they
need
say
to
that for us as a
clarify-
party, those 2-something billion, we won't take them.
But-
we can't build hospitals, we can't
And
do
they
without
they
this. And all
cannot
this
not take the
entitlement.
money. They cannot not take the money because
What is
the
good for the
government...
Uganda is good for the goose.
Yeah,
Let's
but
not
we
just-
need to clarify that this money was actually given to Mpuga by Parliament. Now, we will see this story developing and we'll be bringing you more details regarding the same. We will also stand to see if Matthias Mpuga will stand down as a commissioner of Parliament. That and more you will find here on Good Morning Uganda. But this minute, we take you through our local news.
And we'll begin with the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Kataha Museveni, who welcomed Professor Jeffrey Sachi advice to government of Uganda to secure long-term loans at low interest rates and invest in priority areas including education, health, energy, agriculture, urban transport and digital revolution for
be preoccupied by giving credit to my server.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos. we people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Hams Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, it is a beautiful Friday morning. It is the 1st of March, 2024. New month, new thoughts, new attitude. In everything we do, they say that our attitude is the first thing to take us there, way before our feet take us into that direction. So the attitude you start this month with really matters. But speaking of attitude, I also would like you to bring your attention to something that is grappling the country, or the country is grappling with, and it might be subtle, but it is happening. According to reports, there is a report that came out in 2023 that cases of missing children overwhelm family protection units. Now, you've heard about children that go missing. They are announced as missing by their parents or guardians, and then they are found, and then everything goes back to normal. But what is happening? Who is taking the children? Now, according to this report, the Child and Family Protection Unit says that the children that are missing, this is according to Caroline Kushemerira, the head of the Child and Family Protection Unit in Kampala metropolitan area, and she says that many of the girls come from different parts of the country to work as maids. And these children are aged between the ages of 9 to 15 years. They are brought to Kampala to work, and then they get lost. But also there is another number of children that come from homes, they're not taken to be maids, they just disappear, announced as they have as missing. You go in a friends, you share on social media looking for these children, and then 2 days later the children are found. The parents are relieved that their children have been found, but then we don't know where the children had gone, who had taken them, and everything goes back to normal. Every time you're on social media, you're going to find a post of a missing child. Now, back in the day, missing children would turn up dead, beheaded, and whatnot. These ones turn up again, but it is becoming a trend. So what's going on? That's what we want to look at. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono, Chantal Oliver Kandinda, and Joram Paul Sonko. Good morning, gentlemen and lady. It's a beautiful day, but as concerned citizens, this is something that touches on us, all of us, whether parents, guardians, sisters, brothers. We are concerned. And when you traverse the streets, so to speak, of like the X app, you're going to find people raising this concern about the children that keep on missing. And according to the police's family unit, some of these children are taken from their homes. I remember during the pandemic where some girls had been brought from as far as Katakwi, Lira, Arua to come to to Kampala to work. And because of the pandemic, families were struggling with finances. Some of these girls were chased from these homes and they didn't even know how to go back to where they came from. So I'll go to Joram Paul first of all. And for me here, this situation is rather confusing. It is really blurry because we do not know who is taking these children from their homes. We don't know for what reason. I'll give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I think 2, a friend's child got lost. Now, this is a child born and raised in Kampala, has access to information, is very sharp, knows the numbers of his parents, but he went missing for 2 days. They couldn't find him, and when they later found him, he said he was walking, found some children that walked him to Nsambia, and then the caretaker took him to Katwe police station. But the parents asked him, couldn't you give them our phone numbers? And the boy said, I was afraid of what the bad guys would do to my parents. But we don't know who the bad guys are, and the child is not saying anything more. This and more are some of the cases that are happening. Joram Paul, from your observation, because you and I have had a conversation about this through this week, what do you think is going on?
I think it's we're in a terrible place to be. Like you've mentioned, I've been going through the timeline this morning. You do realize that most of the parents who have been losing their, their children for a period of 2 to 3 days, a child goes missing, and the child is actually posted on social media, either in a school uniform, and then after like a period of 3 days, one, the post is deleted, the second you hear is that the child was found. And then from that incident, we do not have any statement coming in from the parent to tell, to give people clarity on the matter, or let's say we are not hearing any kind of the case was filed, or if at all it was filed, you won't hear the police coming out to say, it's only on rare occasions you find the police coming out to defend the fact that they've worked with the parents to look for this child. But well, when you look at this period that we are in, we do have many parents who are taking their children for day school. And day school is pretty much tricky with the fact that most parents are working. And at times they have less time with their children. The concern now, the most rising concern is, once a child is actually lost for a period of, let's say, 3 to 4 days, and they return, everything is back to normal.
Because
like
now you're
something
relieved.
we are normalizing.
As in, I understand where the parents come from. Your child has been missing for a day, 2, 3, and now they are back. You're relieved. Your child is back and they're in good shape. That is if they are in good shape. So probably I understand why everything would go back to normal for that family. But now if it becomes a trend, that's where we have to be concerned. And this is where I bring in Chirabo. What do you think could be the possible causes of children missing? Could it be parental neglect? Could it be mindless wandering? Could it be kidnap?
Well, to begin with, I think I want to rule out kidnap. Because kidnap, mostly these are criminal-minded people.
Yes.
Who have purpose and target. For example, previous we saw kidnap for ransom. That they will look at a Sonko. They know Sonko now has made good money with the better half, and if we really need money, we just need to kidnap their young one. And of course, these would even call. They get your contacts, they call you, they tell you don't inform police. If you inform police, this child, just put this amount of money there.
That's true.
And automatically there you would see that as a parent, you would involve police. And police would come in, have pictures of this child, or if the child has been recovered, believe you me, police would come up and say, working with sister security agencies, they have continuous statements that you can predict what they will present. Enanga would come up, Uganda Police Force, working with sister security agencies. We want to thank the public. We were able to recover so-and-so's child. So, this time around, because kidnappers don't just kidnap.
Yes.
They have a purpose. And the way things are happening, it shows that this is not kidnap, in my opinion and analysis. This is not kidnap. Second, when parents keep certain things out of police, there's something they're also not understanding. For example, your child disappears. And maybe you have wonders that maybe, children of today are also complicated. Very exposed. And I want to use the word Weizeka. You can have a child of 15 who can tell you, well, maybe you think he has spent a night here or there. So there are a lot of gaps in parenting that we must confess. because the world has become so busy for us, yet our children are very, very exposed to a number of things. That is why you're seeing that a child disappears. I want to use the word disappears for 2 days. Then you later get to know that the child is back with the family. Then the other issue is that sometimes Ugandans, there are things we take for granted. You know, that as long as I've gotten my child back, I don't see the need to go and report, so that if it's a problem, it's investigated. Look at the way people in communities don't want to come and testify or be witnesses or make statements at police. Not all of them that they fear are being arrested. If you tell someone, well, they robbed me, but my property was recovered, however, the thieves were arrested, but I'm told you witnessed or this, come and make a statement. They are not bothered. Someone will tell you, so that is also a problem, that when parents get these children back, they're like, I've gotten my child. But they don't bother to say, if this is a problem or a certain trend we are not understanding, why don't we involve authorities so that they investigate? Because we as we are discussing, we can say it's not kidnap. Then what is making these children disappear? Why are they moving away from their homes? Are they feeling lonely? Because sometimes mental illness takes various shapes. We only know when someone undresses and picks stones and says things that do not connect. But in this generation of busy parents, of so much pressure on our children, I want to say many of these, especially teenagers, have mental issues. And the parents are not noticing this because we do not have the time for these children.
There's been an argument, Chirabo, about some of the children who are getting lost and escaping from school to go and meet, let's say, their boyfriends out of school.
Yes.
And these are cases when we get back to, you know, what we were discussing earlier this week in regards to maternal death among the teenagers.
Yes.
And that most of them end up missing. In some of these cases, a child goes missing, even away from town, goes away from school during, let's say, daytime, and then the next time you find when he's actually sleeping in someone else's house, either a boyfriend, and these are allegations coming in from the city suburbs, different upcountry out of reach areas rather. So especially when you go to upcountry, where we have absenteeism of teachers, a child goes missing from home, and the next thing you hear is she was living with a certain sonko, who is, let's say, border rider somewhere. And the worry is society is not punishing such people, because you can only imagine if you are a parent, God forbid your child gets lost today or goes missing today. First of all your sense of belonging is going to first pause a little bit. Everything you're going to do at work is going to change because your mind is not there. You may even fail to show up because you have to look for your child. But then what we have today is, once you've found your child, at times we are relieved and then we forget that this thing can happen.
But then again, in my own opinion, if you're to really take a good look, you realize that some of these things, it's a matter of miscommunication somewhere. It's a matter of probably the child went where they could not locate them at a time, and there is just the panic that comes in when the parent gets to realize that they can't find their child, except for cases where we have seen that these children were actually kidnapped and they've gone missing and they've never been found. But cases where we have these kids being found and then maybe posts taken down, I would conclude by saying that sometimes these parents kind of get to realize that they've maybe mishandled something with their children, and that is why they can't even go ahead to say, okay, we've got our child, this is what it is, and make a statement, because they will be looked at as careless or irresponsible
but
parents.
isn't it, okay, every parent thinks that they're the best parent. No parent can say, I am a careless parent, all right? But do you think that we may probably have cases of careless parents on one side, maybe also cases of careless child minders? Because I am here, I have children. If today was a Saturday and I'm not home, I have entrusted my children with someone to take care of them when I'm not there. So are they caring for the children, or they are also being careless? Is it the parents? Is it the people we leave our children with? And also, are we mistreating our children that probably they want to get away from us?
It starts from the parents. And if a parent has put maybe a system in place, or really is as involved as they should be, at a certain level, for the child minders, the rate goes down when it comes to carelessness in this case. So it goes back to the parents. How strict are you? Have you been able to notice that this person may not take care of my child as they should? And can this person stay in my house or not? So in this case, I would really take it down to the parents. You gave an example of someone, the child gets out of office and then moves, and the next thing the child says, bad people, I didn't want bad people to look for you. That sounds like a movie. That child probably watched a movie that had a storyline like that, and that's what came to their mind. When you were telling the story, the child walked with a group of, the child lost their way, walked with a group of people, then went to police, and then that's how the child was found. So you realize that it could have been carelessness of the parent, I'm just saying, or even the child was very inquisitive, they got lost and the parent could not find them at a time. So it goes back down to the parent and how they're handling their children.
So now, speaking of parents and how they're handling their children, let's put our focus there. What conversations are we supposed to have with children at every age? You have a 5-year-old. What conversation are you supposed to have with these children in regards to safety? And you have an 8-year-old, 15-year-old. I mean, a 15-year-old boy is sometimes on your village, you're going to find boys mindlessly moving, and probably it's okay with their parents. But we are living in an unsafe world entirely. So what conversations can we have with our children at different age brackets for safety purposes?
First, as a parent, one thing I learned is look for respect, not fear. You know, most African parents, and many of us watching, let's not pretend, our fathers, we feared them, and they thought that was respect. So as a parent, look for respect. Don't look for your children to fear you. Make them your best friend. Be their friend at all stages. Because you talked about a caretaker.
Yes.
But I know very many homes where caretakers are children themselves. You know, these women in corporate life will tell you, "Funira yakawala, karabirira abana."
Sagala mukulu nnyo. Don't get me a very grown
person. Meaning, get me
a child.
A child to look after my children. Now, this child looking after fellow children, what do you expect? It goes back because when a parent, you're friends with your children, they have freedom in you. You have some time for them. You get, as you interact with them, you even get to know so much. But unfortunate that time around now has made things a bit complicated. But remember, parenting is a permanent job. That even when you're 6 feet under the ground, people will still look up to your children and blame you for what you did do right. I'm not saying that children who go out of the way, their parents may not have done so much, but that is something you must have at the back of your mind. Now, when you make these children your friend, because you're in a time of technology, they are seeing so much. A child will watch a movie called Escape from Home. You know? Then the child will escape. Watch a movie where maybe a parent came in and punished a child and the child ran away from home, you know. We'll watch Home Alone and they just feel, if I can't have Home Alone, I can go and be alone somewhere. So there's so much that technology is bringing to them. And now it is the parenting agent in her home. So if you're not friends with your children, because Najuma, when you talk to your daughter, maybe of 13 years, in that talk, that's when she'll tell you, well, my friends are saying they can go and have a picnic. You know, we all tell her, but mommy, I felt I shouldn't go. Me, I fear now if those people fall in trouble, then you know, I smell a rat here. So you begin saying, no, at your age, you can't go for a picnic, this and that. But if you keep that distance, mother, you're used for your role is more always holding a sandal and you don't build that bond.
Our parents,
You lose
at
it
least
out.
my generation, used to say, I do not converse with children. I have no business laughing with children. And because of that, many of us feared our parents instead of having a bond with them. Now, as we grow older, some parents are like, but why don't you ever call? But call you to say what? We never had that relationship
call on
when we were
purpose.
younger. So I call on purpose, Daddy, do you have your medicine? Okay.
Because we didn't have the conversations back then.
Exactly. But still going back to conversations, I still want us to break it down. Chirabo has touched on a very important point of not being, of creating a circumstance or an environment where you're not feared, but you are respected. And where I like to call it open doors of communication, where the children know that they can come to you at any one point. But still, I want us to break it down, and I'll come to you, Joram Paul.
Yes.
In as much as I'm saying, we are saying have conversations with the children, create an environment of respect. If I'm speaking to, let's say, a 5-year-old, you have a nephew, a niece.
A niece.
Yes. If you are speaking to that child about safety, what are the key elements as a guardian, as a parent, should you give to this child?
Well, to me, speaking from a personal kind of interaction with this 5-year-old, my concerns are normally you need to tell us, you know, who you're with. And she puts it in her mind that at times she normally, you know, sits down and tells you, Uncle, I was with this person. Or I'm going to be with this friend and this friend. Why? Because her parents have actually put it to her, or have actually created that environment where wherever she's going, she has to make sure that everyone knows. With whoever she's actually playing with, or you know, having any sort of childish play with, we have to know. Why is that so? I think when you look at any other parent out there, most of the times most parents think if at all I provide something to this child, let's say playing toys, others are now buying smartphones and the like, I'm doing the parenting that is necessary, which of course you can't you know, weigh a good parent or not, depending on how they're taking care of their children, because everyone tries in their own capacity. It's never easy to parent, really. But when you look at what you've mentioned, that as of today, sometimes our parents is something that they failed at back in the day. They created room for us to distance away from us. And when you also look at the cases as of last year, depending on the majority of girls between 9 to 5 that are always being reported as lost at the police, you realize that some of them also run away from home because maybe someone is going to offer them something, a more peaceful environment.
They are seeking, you know, solace from
exactly,
their guardians and
from
parents.
guardians and other parents, or that may be from the same lineage with their mothers and fathers, but far away from home. Or others feel like maybe at home there are basic needs that the parent is not providing. And then you find someone running away. And you see, this is where the element of depression and mental health comes in right from childhood. As much as many people think that children are not affected with this, like Chirabo has mentioned, that there is some level of content a child may see, and then the brain is already turned into something else. Or a child may actually be playing around with other people, and then afterwards, when they see certain things in a certain homestead that are not at their home, and if a parent cannot create room for contentment of this child, then this child may actually be pushed to leave home. Because when the children get missing, as a parent or as a dad or a father or a guardian, you've got to first of all ask yourself many questions. Why would my child go missing for 3 days? Because at times we may think the child has actually been kidnapped or anything, but then when they've deliberately left home. So the question is, why are they leaving? And if at all they've left, are they able to give you the real reasons as to why they did? If it's a period of 3 days, trust me, for many parents who have got the time to sit down with their children, children are so outspoken. They will actually tell you everything. They will be telling you everything, every detail.
But that's if there is an environment that makes them comfortable enough.
Yes, so it goes back again to the parenting and then to the society itself. How do you receive these children? Are you welcoming enough? Are you able to nurture them in the right way society is supposed to receive them? Otherwise, we may be, reporting all these cases, and at times the police may even fail to have all these cases settled.
Because some of them may not even be reported.
Yes.
Well, according to statistics, it shows that mental disorders and anxiety disorders in Uganda are at 22.9% in children and 24.2% in adults, and 14.4% in children and 20.2% in adults. Now, these are stark numbers. Many parents don't actually think that children have mental health challenges because you're a child, your job is to live and play and eat, so what are you stressed about? But children actually experience stress and mental health related challenges because of different things. If, let's say, parents are going through a rough patch in the marriage, the fighting, the bickering is going to affect your child in ways that you may never know. That's why when you go back to some families, they tell you things that are pertaining you as a couple, take them to the bedroom. If there is domestic violence in a home, it's going to impact the mental health of your child. If parents lose a job and the lifestyle changes, this was evidenced during the pandemic. Many parents lost their sources of living and lifestyles had to change. Children were out of school, which was also depressing these children. So we don't have to say that children don't have things that stress them. At their level, they are human and there are things that they are grappling with. But now coming to you, Chantal, we've unpacked all of this, but there is still the elephant in the room. Yes, we are saying we should be friends with our children today and try to understand them. But do you think as parents that to a degree we are becoming complacent and now the children can just walk out of home and come back after 5 days like nothing happened?
Well, to a degree, yes, parents have become complacent. For example, I'll give a schedule of, say, someone in the work environment. You wake up in the morning, say like at 5 or 6 or whichever time you wake up, prepare, take the kids to school, then go to work in the evening, pick them, take them home, or the bus actually drops them home. And when you return, you are also tired. You don't have as much time to even interact with these children. Please do note, children are very inquisitive beings. So if they're not getting answers from you who they trust the most, these kids trust you the most in their lives. So if they're not getting answers from you who they trust the most, they are likely to find those answers elsewhere. But also, because there is not much of control that you have shown or exerted with them, it seems as if it is okay for them to do whatever they want. How will you know, for example, if the house help or the house manager does not tell you that on Saturday, little Chantal walked out and returned after 3 hours? How will you know? Because even her, she'll feel like if I tell her, she'll think I'm careless. I'm not taking care of her child. And then the cycle continues. So as parents, we are a bit complacent. We think we can make these children busy. TV is paid for, there is a tab at home, there is a phone, and that's it. Yet we need to be hands-on with our children. If this child is an inquisitive child, you will know they might want to explore and see how do they cross the road. They might want to know how many floors does this building have.
And speaking of exploring, I remember when I was 9, I tried to do the same, explore crossing a main road.
Right.
Now, if you've been to the areas of Kasubi and Nankulabi, there is that sharp corner around the Masiro as you're going to Nankulabi. I tried to cross that road and I got the accident where I still have scars to this day. My parents almost lost me, but I'm not the only one.
Personally, in my P1, I one time I was at earlier primary school. I took myself from there and took myself back. My dad was in shock. How did you cross the roads? How did you get here? Now, these kids are inquisitive.
Even those who
So we must hold their hands and show them the way.
Starting a car.
Thank you. This kid will be like, how many floors does this building have? Then they'll get lost in the building. Then they'll find an exit, get out from the other side. You don't know where they are. You don't know what has happened. But the kid moved out when they were going to the restroom meanwhile. They tell you, I want to go to the restroom. You're like, you go, take the left, take the right, you will see them. You've not gone with them. You've never gone with them before to direct them that this is where the restrooms are. Or go ask someone around. Because you think, 5, 7 years, 10 years, you should be big enough to figure out some of these things. Idea, yes, but if you can show them the first time, then probably the next time they can do it themselves because you've set you've set the standard. Yes.
Well, Cricket Derek Gagamel says, I thought missing children have issues with their parents at home and choose to find solace somewhere else. For a while, after some relief, they return home. But after this becoming a trend, that's what is confusing us. Now, this is where the so-called intelligence law enforcers must come in because it is beyond civilians' thinking capacity. Otherwise, we shall start thinking of rapture. And the LC2 councillors, this one says, the LC2 councillors who are supposed to be in charge of children's issues are ignored or non-active lately. These could be the ones to work jointly with LC1 councillors to register and monitor the presence of children in their villages. In case any child disappears, they should help parents and report to the police to trace the whereabouts of their child. So, and of course, someone says we are increasingly witnessing parents that do not have good relationships with their children. Well, we can't go any further than that. But as a parent and as a guardian, you need to safeguard your child and also stop babying them. Teach them the actual world. Teach them so that they do not go out seeking certain things by themselves. Have honest conversations about the real world with your children. My name is Olive. Good Morning Uganda continues.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UPC Studio.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Gange ndetubona Kiranda Amina mu company eya WIB Uganda Limited ndi member. Wemba member company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi nga abashala abe wakawaka. Abashala abe wakawaka tuemera kubaami baife nga bonkana abajamu nandanga twidinti abashala tibakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege nga abashala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki twafuna mu ng'abakyala ababujiri district. Abakyala ababujiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya WIB. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo. Twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting abaharvestinga. Twaba n'abakyala abakolaki aba marketing. Sector dona diri trained era didi chedikola ki chedikola. Project eno tufunye mu nga abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza. Okuja kujanga batulingirira mu nga abakyala abana Uganda. Eri kujanga etrobingira ebibina bingi. We have UWeb, baleta parish development model. We have Myoga. Byona biri kwida muki mu bakyala. Oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. It is the Friday, the first day of March 2024, and we are glad that you get to catch the show with us Monday to Friday. And you know what happens every Friday? We make sure that we have a bit of entertainment for you, aside from making sure that you are abreast with what is happening in the country. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda, and this morning I do have the guest artist that I'm going to be interacting with, but also making sure that he sends you further into the weekend in the best ways possible. Now, I am joined by Nelson Maweje, who is a gospel artist. And well, what a way to start the month, right? If you didn't say your prayer at midnight or in the morning, or if you haven't said it, hopefully, when you listen to Nelson Maweje this morning, you get to say your prayer. And they say, Praise and worship or singing gospel music, all those are prayers to the Lord. And well, if you did not know, now you know. Let's see how Nelson is doing this morning. I fear to say the name Nelson because someone very important to me has that name, but let's see how this goes. Good morning, Nelson.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Okay.
How do they greet? Do they say praise God? Do they say...
No, praise God, praise Him.
Yeah, okay. And then any other way that we can...
Somebody say amen, praise Him, amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
How are you feeling this Friday morning?
Wow, I feel so great.
You feel
I'm
so
happy
great.
to be here.
Okay.
Good morning, Uganda.
Thank you for
Happy
joining
new
us.
month.
Thank you for joining us. Have you said your prayer for the new
Yes,
month?
for sure. How can I forget that?
So when do you say your prayer? Do you say it like at midnight or at 3 a.m.? You know, they say those hours, the different hours have different, meanings and all.
True.
At what time did you say your prayer?
3 a.m., morning,
Okay.
evening, but every time.
Every time
Every
should be
minute,
prayer
every
time.
hour, yes.
So
Yes.
you are a gospel artist.
Yes, I'm a gospel.
And you mentioned before we got on said that you have been in the gospel music industry for 10 years?
9 to 10.
9 to 10
yes.
years.
Mm.
How has that been for you? Especially because it's of recent that we are seeing the music industry, especially the gospel music industry,
Yes.
try to come up. How has it been for you? Because for the last 10 years, it's not been easy. In my own perspective, me who is outside of the music industry, for you who has been in there, how has it been for you?
Only God.
Only God.
Yes, only God. Without God, you can't make it.
What are some of the challenges that you have faced as an individual in the industry?
Mostly finances to produce the songs, videos. Videos are very expensive, audios are very expensive, but with God, everything is possible.
They usually say that gospel artists
Yes.
don't support each other. I don't know what your take is on that before I even proceed. What is your take on that?
No, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. When you produce good music, yes,
You'll
people-
get the
yes,
support.
yeah.
Because when you try to compare the gospel music industry and then the other music industry, you realize that when one person has a concert, these guys are going to come out, please go for this concert. They're going to post on their social media. They're going to rally with them. If those who are going to sing along are going to be doing practice with them. But I have not seen much of that when it comes to the side of the gospel music. It's as if each individual, I want to put it in English, to each of their own. It's as if that's what it is.
Finances. The problem is finance. Because even staging that, you must have the finances.
You must have the finances.
You can't just do practice. Yes. Live music, always you put in.
You have to put
much
in.
money, yes.
So as an individual, what are some of the things that have helped you survive in these 10 years?
Humble, fasting, Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Okay. And the other question to you would be, when did you produce your first song and did you write it yourself?
Yes. It is called Echisacha Yesu.
Echisacha
We are
Yesu.
here by God's grace.
Of course.
I recorded that song in 2012
2012,
to
yes.
13, yes. But later I recorded the songs with Maureen Antume.
Oh, right, yes.
It's a gospel inspiration gospel. Linda Chisedache. Then Ampade. The current one, Wedding Day.
Wedding Day?
Yes.
Okay. And just briefly on how you've been progressing in this industry from where you started from and where you are right now.
Only God. Only God. Because it is not easy.
Yeah. Sure.
Though I've been supported with many people, Maimoko, Mr. Mukisa Jackson, Mrs. Chimura, but music industry, it's not an easy thing. But with God, everything is possible.
Everything is
Only
possible.
God. That's what I can say.
Great.
Yes.
So do you write all your songs or some of them have been written for you?
Echisacha Yesu, it was me. Then Ampade, Wedding Day, Ampade, Linda Chisedache, John K., the writer. Wedding Day, it was written by Saro, the writer.
Right.
Yes.
What is your take on picking music or on getting music from someone else and doing it. Some say that it lacks a bit of originality with the individual. I don't know what your take is on that.
It is good to get variety. Yeah, it is good when you get this song from this one. Yes, it makes sound and it makes sense to get that variety of sounds. Yes,
okay.
And messages.
So the other question I would have for you would be on have you had any performances, on which stages? Who would you look forward to working with going forward in the music industry?
Mostly, I can't mention that because I love all the people, all the gospel artists in the music industry. But I've been performing on weddings, introductions, graduations, birthdays, and shows, even gospel shows. I've been ministering. You know, for us we call it ministering.
Ministering, yes. And that is why I had mentioned that in the beginning. I had mentioned that when you are singing gospel music, you are as if praying. You are actually saying a prayer to God. The other thing I thought about was collaborations with non-gospel artists. I don't want to call them secular, but I would say non-gospel artists. We've seen some gospel artists. We've seen some gospel artists collaborate with them, and the songs turn out really good. What is your take? Some say you shouldn't be. Let me try to put it in the. Let me try to quote the Bible. Don't be unequally yoked, or don't be yoked with the the non-believers. I may not quote it pretty well, but yes. What is your take on having collaborations with non-gospel artists?
For me, I'm not judging anyone. I can't judge anyone because you never know. Those people, they are godly, but they can't express it. But they are godly. When you look at Nantume, she's having a good picture in the public. Right. So she's not a bad lady. That's why I chose her.
And you had a song with her.
That collaboration, yes.
So you actually don't mind anyone who does a collaboration. What about attending non-gospel concerts? So, for example, Chameleon has a concert and they're like, well, Nelson, you might want to come and perform. What is your take?
For me, I call the Holy Spirit. I seek the Holy Spirit
you pray about
to guide me, yes.
Well, in my own thinking, if you're ministering, you're ministering to God, but also you're trying to let someone into a world of... Because even some people who go for those concerts have problems, and maybe your gospel song could be the song they need to walk out of that place and be like, sit there, yo.
But some of them, they have gospel songs. Yes. You can go, but you seek the Holy Spirit to guide you.
Right.
Yeah. Don't just go.
So, a little bit back to your personal life. Did you go to music school, or which school did you go to? And, well, there might be someone who is watching, a lady who is watching, and she's wondering, is Nelson married?
Nelson married. No, I didn't go to a music school, but it's a talent from God.
From God, yes.
I studied art and design.
Do you practice art and design?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great.
I have a company named Brands. I attend services. My church, St. John's Church, Kazinga, Boyogere, though. I stay at Chitokotwe. Do you know that place?
I've heard about it.
You heard about it?
Yes.
Yeah, Chitokotwe. That's where I stay.
Okay.
So
where you stay?
Yes.
Do you stay with someone?
Not yet. Not yet, but I know. I'm waiting for my time.
So you who was asking the question, now you have your answer. Nelson Maweje is not married. And they say lately when we are praying, we pray for a man after God's heart. So
For
someone
sure.
out there must be, that's the man after God's heart that I want.
True.
So, forward now into your plans as a music artist now. I've also learned that you have other work that you do. I've seen some issues with some Christians who believe that when I am ministering or I'm working in church, I cannot have work elsewhere. True. And they've been branded as lazy, they've been branded as broke, and a number of other not nice words that are branded to Christians who literally don't work. So what motivates you to do the two, yet probably you can earn from on one of those and you're good, you're okay?
Everything needs finances. You know, we gospel artists, we don't have sponsors, managers. You do it for your own.
Right.
So I decided to start working while producing my stuff. Yes,
Yeah, producing your music.
Yes.
Great. And do we have any performances we should look out for? Any coming performances or any coming appearances that you could be having?
Yes, true. Though for now we are promoting a 3 songs drive.
Okay.
That is Wedding Day. In the Chiseche Future Marine Antume. And part day, though we are organizing a show, a show an evening with Nelson Maweje.
With Nelson Maweje.
Soon we'll be
communicating.
People, yes.
Well, it's in the pipeline, and well, we pray and hope that it comes to fruition the way you anticipated.
Yeah,
and Travis Green is coming to Uganda.
Yes.
Have you secured your ticket?
I must go.
You must go.
Yes,
what is that you look for, or you look forward to when it comes to concerts like those that is different from what we are having in Uganda, and you would wish for it to be in Uganda?
You know, they are very, very organized. You know, I think they get sponsors, but their shows, wow, they're very amazing.
So you would love for Ugandan, especially the gospel artists, the gospel industry of Uganda to get more organized and get more support from even sponsors.
Yes. Companies, please, support the gospel world, you people. When you get problems, you listen to our songs. But when you come here to seek for sponsorship, you don't sponsor us, please.
Don't you think, even as gospel artists, don't you think you have a lot of work to do to convince this sponsor? Because hear me out, this sponsor is going to tell you, take a cente, well, I'm all about business.
Yes,
so that means I have to get return on my investment. So why do you think the gospel industry is not doing well to ensure that these sponsors are drawn to them?
No, it is just selfishness, please. This is, you know, gospel songs are very good. When they come to you, please sponsor, seek for sponsorship. Please do sponsor us, please.
Great. Thank you so much, Nelson Maweje, for sparing some time to come and have this conversation with us. Lastly, how can someone get you if I'm looking for you to perform at a wedding or any other event? How do I get you?
My social handles: Facebook, Nelson Maweje; Twitter, @Kato Maweje. You know, I'm a twin.
Oh, you are? Interesting. Yeah. So what happened to the Kato name? Because now I've just known you are Kato Maweje.
No, we decided to use Nelson Maweje.
Ah, okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah. Instagram, Nelson Maweje. My YouTube channel, Nelson Maweje.
Great. Well, Nelson Maweje this morning is going to be ushering us into the weekend. And like I earlier on said, as you start the new month, hopefully the message he carries this morning helps you start the month in a better way. Over to you, Nelson. Let me let you do your performance.
Okay,
let me also sit back and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you. Saba kiriza mukama kuwulira takelewa era nga takeera nedda ekyokuba nga tannabakola tekitegeeza yeerabidde bw'omusaba kiriza mukama kuwulira takelewa era nga takeera nedda ekyokuba nga tannabakola tekitegeeza yeerabidde bwe ntunula ku ggulu teriyina mpagina yate terigwa ensozi engulu mivaga ganene bulijjo binewunyisa buli lwebanga njawo nga nsobeddwa ng'ebizibu binetoolodde ng'abantu bankyaye era nga mpeddemu amaanyi nebuuza lwaki mukama katonda atayinza nze kunyamba nemulugunya oba nze omunoonya sembayo
takerewa era nga takeera nedda ekyokuba nga tannabakola tekitegeeza yeerabidde ulira
olw'ekimera kikule okufuna kirungi tolina kuggwamu maanyi ne waba omukyala ofuna omwana bingi mwayita lindirira
omusaba kkiriza mukama kuwulira takerewa era nga takeera nedda ekyokuba nga tannabakola tekitegeeza yeerabidde
yazazakana omugumba nesala ye yali akuze emyaka nolwekyo wasuubiza tukkiriza teyekyusa
kyogamba nange nninde kubanga nsabye naye nga siina kyenfuna n'okusiiba nesiiba naye yadde akale sikalengera That song is called Ampadde. Ampadde kubanga nganinze ampadde kubanga nganinze sosolye bwatefa tuuka kulyengedde okulinda ninzeera nesala nsabye mingi omutima nga ntadde kwebyo byembadde nsuubira olugendo ndutambudde wentuuse nduwangudde empiseemu biwanvu naye kyaddaaki bisanuse omwoyo gwange kati omwoyo gwange wetuuse kukakanya ampadde kubanga nganinze ampadde kubanga nganinze zanyi kitange bw'ofudde ensonga onfudde ekigombebwa laba buli wepita bali bensikiriza abandi bansekerera luli bakuŋŋaanye bandabe luno nzudde wotobeera sefunera wotobeera setegeera kugwe kwenesigamye kwenesize kugwe kwenesigamye kwenesize webale ampadde kubanga nganinze ampadde kubanga nganinze nabantambula nkaga sanyu lya mukiwagonja tambula sitya this is my day the Lord has made I rejoice with the love amen leka nenkone ndonge kona mazima leka nenkone ndonge kona jensi jiwala ampadde kubanga nganinze ampadde kubanga nganinze pereza akakoti n'akasuti ako akagato nyambale n'akatayako kagwake ketonye sade tujubileti lwalelo nadadde kalenda kyeraga luno lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye nagesanyu luno lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye nagesanyu it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day omukadde atudda nnekedde ku wedding day omugolera mulodi laba nno bwakumbye kekanise amadala mukwano gubali mukyenda empeta benaniseera leka gwe tulina mateera luno lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye wana tweraga essanyu luno lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye wana tweraga essanyu it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day
One of those.
tuliteke mbyafaayo lunaku lwakawoowo oyo eyakutuula ku mwoyo omutute lwaleero it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day it's a wedding day wedding day wedding day it's a happy day happy day happy day lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye luno lunakulukulu aye kulya n'amasavu lusinga n'essekukulu aye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Maweje right there. So if you are looking for him, please go on his social media and you can reach out to him. He can perform at your wedding and any other event that you will be having. Well, further into our entertainment this morning, I'll be sharing with you some of the movie recommendations that you can decide to catch up on this weekend as you are trying to, cut down on the stress from the week. Now, Lights Out is a movie that has been recommended before, but it comes back well. Sometimes they say when the song is nice, we play it twice, yeah? So when the movie is nice, we feature it twice. Lights Out is the movie that we are recommending this morning. In case you forgot or in case you hadn't watched it, I highly recommend this because myself, I've had a chance. One, to look at the trailer. Two, I don't want to be a spoiler, but I've had a chance to watch it. And guess what? It is a very interesting movie. If you love a good story, if you love some action in your movies, this is the movie for you. If you really love some action, this is the movie that you can watch, and a good story definitely is in there. Now, Lights Out is an American thriller film that was directed by Christian Sesma and starring Frank Grillo, Mickey Pfeiffer, James King, Dermot Mulroney, and Scott Adkins. Take a look at the trailer right there.
You don't see the worst parts of humanity and it not be affected, not be screwed up. It's gonna change the world until the world changed me.
I saw you last night. More importantly, I saw that look in your eyes. But you got a lot of anger inside you. And if you don't find a way to let that out, it's gonna eat you alive.
Enlighten me.
An outlet.
Tonight we'll bring in 150.
Thank you.
Is this your guy? Yeah. You think you got what it takes? Why don't you place the bet and find out?
Are you ready for a fight? Your boy just killed a cop. LAPD! Everyone clear the place out now!
What kind of cops you got, huh? LAPD caught with money, dope, and guns. These are bad cops.
Just make sure nothing comes back to haunt us.
We need to end this. Wasn't sure exactly what he needed, so I brought a few options. Let's do it.
Line him up! Come on!
I haven't seen your face around here.
Nope. I'm new.
Ribs, a bit of people dying in there, but of course, saving family is at the top. And well, what a movie, if you may ask me. So, Lights Out is the movie that you can catch up on this weekend in case you haven't. Now, the other movie recommendation is Code 8. Now, Code 8 is a part 2, which is a 2024 Canadian science fiction film directed by Jeff Chan, who co-wrote this very screenplay with Chris Pahe, Sherin Lee, and Jesse Lavacom. This is a sequel to the 2019 film Code 8. Now, Robbie Amor and Stephen Amor reprised their roles from the original film as Connor Reed and Garrett Kelton, respectively. Serena Gulgamas, Altair Vicent, Alex Malari Jr., Mo Hwedi Ramo, Aaron Abrams, and Jin Yoon also star in this very movie. And this was released on Netflix on February 8th, 2024, just in case you are not sure where you can catch it up. Now, 5 years following the events of Code 8, the LCPD has reformed their militarized tech program, replacing the armed humanoid robots with non-lethal companion canine robots similar to dogs. And under the leadership of Sergeant Kingston, the project has been a success and the streets have never been safer. Having just got out of prison, Connor works as a junior at the Youth Community Center run by Mina. There, Connor keeps his head down and tries to stay out of trouble, leaving his past behind. That's just briefly about the plot. Well, take a look at the trailer and you let me know if you would like to catch up on this one. It's a science fiction for those that love fiction.
You said you owed me for the time I did inside. I have to get someone out of the city tonight. A friend. Will you do that for me? Or even?
I'll help you. My quick question first. What is it about me that you would choose this pathetic life?
You try to act like you're looking out for people like us. But I think you're a parasite.
Sergeant Kingston is a rising star in downtown Lincoln.
I made a deal with a cop. He gets a cut, and we get to run this place.
I'm here because I'm one of you. We all want a safe neighborhood to grow up, but we've listened, we've made changes. If you just put your hands up, we won't hurt you.
You better take good care. You're a pawn, Garrett. Everything that I have, I built. How long before he takes it? You have to trust me.
I do trust you, but I'm not running anymore.
Well, if you love yourself some bit of fiction thrillers, that is the movie right there, and it's called Code 8 Part 2. If you did not watch Part 1, most probably you might want to get Part 1, then you can further watch Part 2. For the weekend, I believe you are sorted. But further talking about the weekend, on Sunday, we all do know that on Pearl Magic Prime, we air the first reality, TV series, maybe not the first, but a reality TV series of ladies who are called Kampala Cream. Now, when it comes to Kampala Cream, there is a new cream girl on the block and yet to be unveiled. And as you can see from there, they've been running ads all throughout the weekend, airs every Sunday, 8:30 p.m. and well, you might want to catch up on that one as well. Let's see how far the Ugandan movie industry has grown and what this holds for our Ugandan cream, like they call them. Some say they're not cream, but well, if we say they're cream, we can actually make them cream, and that's what we are seeing. Lifestyles being put out there with no blurs and nothing, and leaving out nothing, people showing just themselves. And we all do know that over the weekend, Itania revealed that she was dating Joshua Baraka. And after that, well, now it makes sense, those who did not know anyway, to those who didn't know, the flowers she received that week to Valentine's, because from the beginning of the month of February, she received flowers, I think almost every day until Valentine's. And then now it turns out she's dating Joshua Baraka, a very good music sensation when it comes to the Ugandan music industry. And well, Itania is a DJ, she's a radio personality, TV personality as well, and a businesswoman. Well, you can say it's her time. When you also look at the stories that she's been telling on the reality show, you can say it is her time to shine, if I may put it like that. But we are waiting for the reveal. I'm hoping that it is this Sunday when we get to know. But earlier during the week, there was a post that was put, and it had different, letter sequences that had names like Sheila Gashumba, Fabiola, had Nina Rose. But of course, now after that, people started guessing. And by the look of things, if you also had a chance to look at the video that was trending, that was put out, by the look of things, it cannot be Nina Rose, it cannot be Sheila Gashumba, because the lady that has been now advertised is slightly of a different how can I put it? It's slightly of a different body size than Nina Rose or Sheila Gashumba. So some have seem to be concluding that it could be either Linda Den or it could be Fabiola. But let's wait and see what happens this weekend as they are revealing the new Kampala Cream cast member of the reality TV show. Well, that does it for our entertainment news this very morning. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda, and coming up is going to be sports with Jerome Paul Sonko and Ruben, making sure that you have all the highlights throughout the weekend. To the Chelsea fans, we are not doing badly, by the way. I'm going to say this on live television. From me, I wish you a very wonderful weekend. We'll catch up on Monday. See you then.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwao.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
we people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one. Pamoja, we are one. Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko pamoja?
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sevatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Gange ndetibwa Nakiranda Amina mu company eya WIB Uganda Limited ndi member. Wemba member company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi ng'abakyala abe wakawaka. Ng'abakyala abe wakawaka tuwemera ku baami baife nga bonkana abajamu nanda nga twidi nti abakyala tebakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege ng'abakyala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki twafuna mu ng'abakyala ababujiri district. Abakyala ababujiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya WIB. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo, twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting aba harvestinga, twaba n'abakyala abakolaki aba marketing. Sector donna diri trained era didi kyedikola ki kyedikola. Project eno tufunyeemu ng'abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza okujja kujanga batulingirira mu ng'abakyala abana Uganda eri kujanga eturobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWEB, baleta Parish Development Model, have Myoga, byonna biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Inside, Sohan, Vassell, rebound, and the stuff by Devin. Hey kids, follow your shot.
Back him up all the way underneath the rim.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, blocked away again by Victor. Here's Trey Jones. Options, Champagny for three.
Yeah.
Signal, challenge, replay.
They think they're unlimited.
Averaged 9.5 last year. This year he's at 8. Sohan with the flash.
Great catch there. Hard off of that high screen. How about the backdoor pass there? Jeremy Sohan going top shelf. Jeremy with a nice start to this one. Nice rebound performance early.
Spurs down 4. Spurs at 56%. Thunder at 58%. Keldon, little off balance, and one for the big body.
I wasn't sure Keldon was going to turn the corner or not there. And then just charges in there, able to absorb the contact. And
Keldon Johnson shooting one.
Collins trying to get position inside, now has it, and he draws the foul. Count it!
Big confidence booster for Zach. The way he's played here in the first half. There's the slap across the arm.
Sports World, and many thanks for being part of Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. We are here yet again to take you through the world of sports. Ruben Pima Chibirango is also in studio this morning to take us through. Today is the 1st of March. There's a lot Ruben has to share to you before even going to sports. Ruben, I want us to start from the NUP. The opposition. I don't want to just say the NUP. It will be like we're giving a lot of PR for the morning. But let's look into the opposition today. A lot of questions rotating around 500 million Ugandan shillings.
No, for me, good morning, Sonko.
Good morning.
How
to
have
you.
you been?
I am okay.
For me, my opinion on that is there's what they call entitlement. If an office entitled, the benefits include money. I'm not corrupt. I mean, if as a producer of, let's say, of a certain production, there's a fee that I have to get.
I'm not supposed to be jealous of it.
You're not supposed to say that Ruben is corrupt or he just took the money.
He's the producer.
The system that was put in place allowed me to get the money. So if Matthias Impuga, he didn't go to the Parliament Commission and ask for money. It's Parliament that sat and said, one, the former speakers should get this amount of money, they should get this kind of car, fuel, driver, etc., etc. Then if leaders of opposition are also on the level of a speaker, they are on that level in terms of leadership or hierarchy at Parliament. Now, if a speaker bags some money and goes with it at home after retiring or after leaving office, why not LOP? Why not the leader of opposition? So if the money is given to Impuga, maybe it started with Impuga. There's no corruption there. And why would you start pointing at Matthias Impuga?
As
you
a
are
corrupt
spoiling
official.
a brain. You're trying to water down a brain that many people are proud of. Some of us, I'll tell you, Sonko, we have grown up looking at people like Impuga, Mpanga, David Mpanga, and so many others, the Segunas and the others.
Yes.
So now when you start watering their names down and saying that they are corrupt and what, that is not really something that can go down well with the hierarchy of the central region here and the people who are in charge of whatever party it is.
Okay. And besides that, Ruben, on the issue to do with parenting and how we can deal with children, schools were reopened. Many students are back at school. Then we also have students who are doing day school. One would ask, today there is always some huge challenges, especially in regards to parenting. Some of the parents don't have a lot of time with their children. Some of the children fear to open up to their parents. How can the parents, create this safe space for their children so that they don't feel, one, scared, then two, so that they feel comfortable with sharing certain things with them?
Depends on which parent you're talking about here. I might be the orthodox kind of a parent, the old-fashioned parent, where I don't have time for the children. What the time I have is school fees, books, what I'm going to do at school. Then there are those gentiles or modern parents, and they will think that you can share with the child anything that you want because of modernity. So which kind of point are you asking? The Stone Age parent or the modern parent?
Let's look at the Stone Age with a bit of modernity.
Okay, Stone Age, my role is to show my children, children, how work is done. Honesty, respect, religion, not to be close to my child. That is how the old-fashioned parenting, that you do the basics of a child. Now the rest you leave it to God. Now then the modern-day parent would want to get to his phone, to have phone or his phone, want to look into so many things, share this, share that, talk about LBG, teach whatever the thing is. Me as an old-fashioned parent, I don't have time for that. I have time to look for school fees, time to talk to you about church, time to show you how work is done. If you're a lady, you must learn how to cook.
True.
You get. So modern day parents will teach you how to use the tab, how to use the computer, how to be on social media. Those are these monikers here. Those are the modern day parents. Some of us are old-fashioned. We don't know about social media. We don't know.
Well, Ruben, let's get into sports. Of course, we were getting some opinions from Ruben Pima. Now we get into the sports world to see what is making headlines from there, and then also looking into some action from the NBA, with which we are going to kick off with. Ruben, the NBA results, and then also what games should we look out for tomorrow?
And there are two games, of course, in the fourth quarter.
Okay.
We have the Miami Heat against your team, the Nuggets.
Yes.
And the Nuggets are leading the game is actually in the fourth quarter, and the Nuggets are leading by, actually they have 101 points, and of course, the Heat have 97 points. So, and even in the fourth quarter, the Nuggets have 18 points, and the Heat, actually the Heat are leading the Nuggets with 27 points against the Nuggets 18, but it's the fourth quarter.
It's
so
where
as
the
we
Nuggets
await,
are leading.
As we await, the Nuggets are leading overall, but in the fourth quarter, the Celtics, rather the Heat, are leading. Yes. So wait to see who takes the day. And of course, the other game, which is in the fourth quarter, is between the Lakers and the Wizards. And actually, the Lakers are leading the Wizards by just a few points. The Lakers have 112 points. The Wizards have 108 points. And the game is almost as good as done. But in the fourth quarter, they're tied in the fourth quarter. It is actually 13-13, but they're still playing. There's still some few minutes on that clock that can decide who takes the day. Other games that we had this morning, the Bucks beat the Hornets 111-99. We had the Magic beating the Jazz 115-107. Then the Warriors did beat the Knicks 110-99. And finally, the Suns did beat the Rockets this morning. That was 110-105. And tomorrow morning, we won't be here. Of course, I almost said that as we get into here. There will be a couple of games that will be played tomorrow morning. The Pistons will take on the Cavs at 3 a.m. The 76ers will take on the Hornets. That will be at 3 a.m. as well. At 3:30, the Celtics will take on the Mavericks. That game will be at the TD Garden. Then, of course, at 4, at 3:30 as well, the Raptors will take on the Warriors, and that game will be at the Scotiabank Arena. We'll have the Raptors. Okay, the Grizzlies will take on the Blazers. That will be at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then the Wolves will take on the Kings at 4 as well. The Pelicans will take on the Pacers at 4 as well. The Bulls will play the Bucks at 6 a.m. Then the Lakers will play. The Clippers will play the Wizards at 6:30. And tonight at 11 p.m. tonight, we'll have the Nets against the Hawks.
11 p.m.
11 p.m. tonight.
You know, it's the first time I'm seeing because I normally see the times for the NBA being played at around 3, 2, 4. But Ruben, now, besides the NBA, we have some action coming in from Europe in the league. I think most of the NBA fans who love listening to Ruben in the morning, you've got some of the games that you look out for. But looking into some football, the top European leagues, I want us to start with the English Premier League as we go into other leagues. There's some matches that are going to be played. And what are some of those standout matches that you think would be eye-catching?
Away from tomorrow's fixtures, the biggest is actually going to be on Sunday at Etihad, the Manchester Derby. Manchester United will be taking on City at Etihad. That will be on Sunday. But of course tomorrow, Brentford will take on Chelsea at 6 p.m. Then Everton will take on West Ham at 6 as well. We'll have Fulham against Brighton. Newcastle will take on Wolves. Then Forest will take on Liverpool. That will also be at 6. And Spurs will take on Palace in that London Derby. That will be also at 6. But later on, at 8:30, Luton will play against Aston Villa.
Well, Ruben, I want you to comment on something. Yesterday there was news circulating of the former Manchester United player and Juventus, Paul Pogba, being banned from football due to doping. When you look at the kind of players we do have today in society, there's a lot of questions on how they live their lives away from football.
Yeah, I actually did see the story at Sky Sports around midnight when Pogba said they're going to appeal against the 4-year ban. But I'll tell you that we've got a couple of, I'll give you examples of players who have been banned because of testing positive for the banned drugs in the sport. I mean, from Diego Maradona in the 1994 World Cup when he was tested after that Greece game, and he was actually banned from that World Cup and sent back home. Then we had Rio Ferdinand, I think was banned for 8 months. months before the 2004 Euro, or I think Euro 2004 or Euro 2008, one of the two. But Ferdinand was banned because of he missed the drug test, and people believed that he might have feared to be tested because he missed the drug test and was banned. Then so many other players who have actually been banned from football. And Paul Pogba, he says he's going to plead his innocence to the Court of Arbitration of Sport, but I don't think he's going to win this battle. I mean, even when he comes back, he'll come back in 2027, when he's 33 years of age. He will be old. His career is almost over. And he thinks he's being actually witch hunted, but they don't witch hunt. They just take those random samples at Sonko. If we are me and you are teammates, they will come in unexpectedly and take a sample of your blood. Okay. Once they test and they see some bit of banned drugs into the body, they have got to take it up. Because drugs are not part of sport. It's more like so Pogba might be because I saw the tweets that his disappointment, how much is actually I can show on your screen. That's what he said. But I'll tell you, Basonko, there's something Pogba is not telling us. Why are they picking out on Pogba? Why not N'Golo Kante? Why not Achomeni? Why not Thuram? Yes, and yet they're all talented players. Why not Upamecano? Why do they pick Pogba? They look at your endurance. They look at the energy you put in. Then they say on the field of play. Yeah, there must be something special about this player. There must be something. Yes, that's why they get to you. Because excuse me, they look at what you do. They look at how you run on that pitch, the energy levels, endurance. Then they say, let's go for this random test. Because they're looking at a player who's not getting tired, like as if he's not human. Yeah, because if actually, for me, I would actually also caution those who test for those banned drugs. Why could they check Jisung Park? I mean, the Man United Korean player. I used to ask myself the pair of lungs that player had. He would barely get tired. Barely get tired. As an Arsenal fan, I have very terrible memories of that man. Him and Wayne Rooney were a nightmare to Arsenal back in the day of the Barclays Premier League. But they had a good team. They just had a good team. Of course, other games that we have away from England, in La Liga, there will be Sevilla against Sociedad. We will have Vallecano against Cadiz. Getafe will take on Las Palmas, and Valencia will take on Madrid. That will be at 11 p.m. tomorrow. Then on Sunday, like I said, there will be a couple of games in La Liga as well. Villarreal will take on Granada. There will be Atletico Madrid will take on Betis. Mallorca will take on Girona. Then Bilbao will take on Barcelona. Good game to catch away from I love the way you use your Spanish words. I think I should learn some Spanish. And Latino. Me, I'm used to Barcelona, Getafe. It is Barcelona. So you have some Catalonia in you. So in the Serie A, but tomorrow we'll have a few games in the Serie A. Udinese will take on Salernitana. Monza, the team that beat Milan 4-2 last weekend, will take on Roma. The mighty Milan. The mighty Milan was beaten. Actually, was humbled by Monza 4-2. I remember a colleague of mine called the Harold Mugabe told me. Was that the same game that ended? That was about to end 2-2. There was a game that Milan almost took 2-2, and then they beat Milan in the dying minutes. So Torino will take on Fiorentina. That will be tomorrow. Then, of course, on Sunday, AS Verona will take on Sassuolo. Then Sassuolo lost to Napoli in the midweek by 6-1, and we had there was a hat-trick by Victor Osimhen. Yes. Someone said the African Cup of Nations is very difficult. That man only scored 1 goal. But he created so many goals. He had so many assists. Empoli against Cagliari, not Cagliari, but Cagliari. Cagliari. Then so we eliminate the G. The G is silent. Okay. Then, of course, Atalanta will take on Bologna, and then Napoli will take on Juventus. That will be a good game. Of course, Mauricio Sarri will be in action against, but the man who once was at Milan, and anyway, I won't go into that. But first, in the French League 1, Toulouse will take on Nice, Brest will take on Lavry, Montpellier will take on Strasbourg, Nantes will take on Metz, then Renault will take on Lorient, and Lyon will take on Lens. That will be in the French League 1. Okay. Yes. And well, it's some good action that you can look into. In France, what is also making headlines is the fact that Kylian Mbappe will be leaving PSG. This guy, someone called Abu Chaze here. He's saying that thanks for the morning sports show. That's Abu Chaze. Abu Chaze is one of the Abu Chaz of 88 points. Yes, somewhere in Rwanga. And the man of Super. Abuchaze. I like it. I mean, why like Abuchaze is actually the man of fashion. Though he cannot come to our level, but he's trying to be on that level. Abuchaze is a good guy. He's a good guy. Why are you laughing, guys?
No, there's a statement you've used of a man who wants to go to.
No, he really loves to be at the level of. You know, I like him because he admires. You look at your shoe and say, "I love the shoe," but he can't get it.
He just admires. But anyway, before we even get into the other segments, Ruben, Kylian Mbappe is going to earn a lot of money, or he has been earning a lot of money from sport. Is this high time we as Ugandans started prioritizing this kind of sport as football? Because we do have a lot of talent which is never explored, and many of our footballers are not earning as much as we expect.
Okay, legendary president Moses Magogo said that he wants to be remembered for coming up with sports structures in this country. To reach at the level of the Kylian Mbappe's, there's an academy called Las Fontaine. Is it Las Fontaine? Whatever it is. There's an academy in France that came up with Anelka, players like Thierry Henry, Villa and others. So that academy is a structure in France. So many players like Sadio Mane went to that academy. I mean, Kameni, but Samuel Fields Eto'o had a chance to be in that academy.
Same academy.
Yes.
So it's an academy of stars.
Yeah. And do not be surprised that the Monarch Academy also, or maybe Mbappe came from such an academy. And if you want to have players like Kylian Mbappe, you must have structures. Even when you have talent, minus structures, you can't know. Just imagine, Sonko, if a 2-year-old son or 4 or 5-year-old went through Edgar Youth Academy, and from the Edgar Youth Academy, there's a club waiting to take on him at the age of 11 or at the age of 10, that will be continuity. So what makes the Mbappes better and excel is they start football early. They are guided early. They even study while playing football. Look at Marcus Rashford. Yes. We're in the college studying
while playing for
Manchester. I mean, Kobe Maino got to
also some of the Liverpool children who the Liverpool teenagers who played in
an FA Cup as well against Southampton. Those kids go to school and play football. In the morning they come for training in the morning, midday at school, they come back in the evening for training. So the academies, the structures
are already there
that make them excel. Now, if you want to have Mbappe in Uganda, there must be structures from the academies, from the underage teams. I will need to run away from cheating at age. I mean, there's a player called, the player I know in my time was called Dennis Iguma. In self-match time, it's called Iguma. Those are two passports.
On Monday, Ruben Pima-Chivirango will be back to give you what will have happened along the weekend.
There's one message here from a guy called Budiabi, Muna Uganda of also Radio Simba.
Okay.
Budiabi, I like him. You know, he's part of the Kapapula. You ask him, do you have some games? He'll give you Katwa.
Yes. Oh, even Eddie Mwes is a
champion. But do they even know how those games end up? They just come up with guesswork and they think it's true.
The Indian is making a lot of money in this country. But besides that, many thanks for being part of the GMU Friday Sports. On Monday, Ruben will be back to take you through whatever has happened from the weekend. But as of now, the team returns with more for your Friday. Stick around. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday, 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Have you packed Morvit's Harbour Jelly and Harbour Foam? Yes, we packed. It will protect your skin from skin rashes. Morvit's packed. It is a new improved Morvit's Harbour Jelly. So soft and smooth. It is a Morvit's Harbour Jelly.
Tell me, kids, the scent. Any irritations? No more rashes and irritations. Morvit Harbour Jelly and Harbour Soap is rich in natural herbs for a smooth and glowing skin.
Movit All Day Confidence.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people. We are one. Pamoja, we are one. Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better.
PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, earlier we had a conversation about children that are going missing from different families. They go missing for a day or 2 or 3 and then they show up and the parents are relieved their children are back and life goes back to normal. And of course, we looked at some of the contributing factors as to why sometimes the children get lost. And I had a few views that I never shared with you. I'll share some. This one said, I think why we increasingly experience that is some parents don't have good relationships in their houses with their children. And Joshua from Soroti said, up to this generation, some parents still behave like enemies to their children. Since childhood, I have never had a conversation with my father. He is too tough, and we all feared him, and he's always quarreling. Now I'm grown up, he wants me to keep talking to him, but I don't even know how to start. That is from Joshua in Soroti. And yes, so regarding that, as parents, like we said earlier, we need to create conducive environments with our children, have open doors of communication with our children so that they can trust us to talk to us when they have issues. Now, today is March 1st, and this is the Women's Month. We will have Women's Day celebrations in Katakwi next week on Friday. And because it is Women's Month, this is where now I call in the mothers. Please talk to your children. Please talk to your girls. Talk to them about mental health. Talk to them about sexual reproductive health. Don't shy away from these issues. Back in the day, you'd send your daughters to their singers to talk to them. But today, society has changed. Things have changed. We need to take the mantle and talk to our girls, but also the fathers. You must talk to your daughters. You must have a beautiful relationship with your daughters, because they say a girl's first experience to men is with her father. If her father treated her well, if her father made her feel confident and beautiful, nobody is going to lie to her that she is not beautiful or that she's not enough, because her father made her feel enough. Now, I sound like a preacher. Issues to do with women and girls are issues that touch my heart. But before we close and go into the weekend, because yes, for some of us, the day has ended, I would like to hear Sonko's views regarding fathers and their daughters.
I think I want to call it, is it rapport? I don't even, if I call it a rapport, I think it will be more, but it's the better word anyway. Creating rapport, creating a safe space. I love calling it safe space. Why? A safe space is a place where you can come and talk to, you know, to anyone openly, like openly, without fear of being judged and the like. And with this kind of generation, I want to give it to some of the parents today who still have time for their children to speak about anything, like almost everything. Of course, there are some secrets that are attached to, you know, to children or parents as well, but there are parents who are open to give advice without being judgmental.
Yes.
Because the reason as to why at times we grow up and, you know, distance ourselves from our parents, it really goes back to how we were with them while growing up. Was it a safe space for them? Like, was it a safe space for us? Would we rush to our parents? Because as of today, you do realize that many of the children are happy to see their parents coming back. We were all happy, by the way. All I'm trying to put is, at times you realize that there are some families where if a child sees the father or mother coming back, the very first thing that crosses their mind is to run away. Because they're either scared that maybe the mother or father will first of all argue with them or quarrel at them. Or in some cases, even ask them what they are doing at that time. Where you find, back in the time, there are some families where you could not even change the TV channel, for
because daddy wants it at CNN.
Exactly. Whereby if your father finds you seated
yes.
in the sitting room watching TV at a given time, you're running away because you know he's going to beat you up, or your mother. But as of today, you see a child respectively doing many things, knowing that, well, if at all I'm not in wrong, there is no reason to run away.
I am safe.
I am safe.
I have a big sister who would never want to see you seated. She would always be like, why are you seated? We don't have things to do. Like, there would always have to be something for you to do. How dare you sit? Well, so, Chantal, yes. Your closing remarks regarding the same. Relationships between parents and their children, and of course, being Women's Month, relationships between guardians and fathers and their daughters, but actually also relationships between brothers and their sisters. I watched a video where a brother was beating his sister, bashing her into the back.
Very violent scenes.
It was extremely disturbing to watch. So what would be, I know you have young brothers and young sisters and you have a dad whom you adore. What would you say to our viewers as we go into our weekend?
Look at you doing this to me right now. Well, I'm a daddy's girl and I can assure you that a very good relationship with your parents is very important. Usually when growing up, mothers are really strict with us because they're trying to put us in line, and for fathers, when it comes to the girls, they're usually very lenient, unlike with the boys. I would like for parents to have conversations with their children where they help them understand why they do the things you do. A mother, help your daughter understand why you're very strict with her. You, as a father, help your boy understand why you're very strict with him and not very strict with the sister. That helps us to eliminate even the myth that my dad loves the girls more than me, the boy, or my mother loves the boys more than we, the girls. It helps to eliminate that and creates more unity in the family so that it gets easier to communicate with our parents, to communicate with the children, and at the end of the day, where there is a challenge, it gets even simpler to communicate where the challenge is without feeling like, will my dad understand? Won't my mother reprimand me instead of understanding where I am coming from?
My parents are going to kill me.
Thank you, and that is very wrong. And then lastly, please, parents, be available for your children. I understand the busy schedule, the economy is very hard, like they put it, but try as much as possible. In front of God, you're a steward of those children, and best believe nothing will work out properly if you're not being a good steward.
Well, with that, I don't think I can add much. I'll just say, add my voice to my colleagues' voices. Let's have relationships with our children. It is important. We are not raising children the way we are raised. Yes, our parents did the best they could with the information and resources that they had, but today we can't use the excuse of I didn't know. We have the internet and a lot of information on parenting. Now, I understand parenting is an on-job experience, and you will learn a lot of things as you go through it, but read up, research, watch TikToks, watch anything that can guide your journey, and also talk to grown people that are parents. I mean, I normally have conversations with people that are fellow parents about some of the challenges I may be having. So you don't have to walk alone as a parent. You can walk with a group of people, and of course emulate men that are like Ruben Chibirango. I've seen his relationship with his daughters, and it is admirable. That's what we should all look out for. My name is Olive Monica Najuma, and like I said, for some of us, the day is over. We are going to go into the weekend, and we'll see you Monday at 6:30 in the morning.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources, such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m., it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to myself.